having distance from your thoughts and emotions.
Mm.
Okay. So a lot of people get sucked into what I call the small s self, right? Where you are identified with your ego mind and you feel like all the thoughts in your head and all the feelings that you have are true for you. Like that's it. That's the truth, right?
Mm.
Now, I'm not saying they don't, that they aren't real, like in the sense that you're not experiencing them, because you are. But when your frequency resonance starts to go up because you're doing frequency work, you start to have more space from your thoughts and emotions. You recognize, oh, they're just my humanness.
Mm.
Right? You're just, I'm having thoughts, I'm having emotions. God, it feels kind of crappy right now, because like, for example, in that story you told of that woman, like you had the emotion of someone being angry at you. So you had a response to it.
Yeah.
So your body is responding, you have the emotion, but you also had the recognition, this doesn't have to be mine. This resonance doesn't have to pull me down. Does that make sense? Like you had the physiological response, you had an emotion, but you also recognized that it was an emotion.
Yeah.
And it didn't have to be the experience that you had for the rest of the
state
day.
of being
For the rest of the day, or even the next 15, 20 minutes or whatever it was, right? You had the emotion, it passed. So my point is you have more distance from those thoughts and emotions, which are, by the way, changing as your frequency resonance rises. As you release the distortion patterns, what you think and what you feel will shift. It's really cool. Like you stop feeling the lower level stuff that we clear out, like the fear, the anxiety, the stress, all that stuff. I'm not saying you're never going to experience that ever again. Of course you are, you're human. However, you don't get stuck in there as much. And when you feel those things, you're like, okay, wait a minute, what's happening here? What do I need to clear?
Yep.
Right. Yeah. So it becomes a very different experience, and you're not as victim to the mind. It's like, all those thoughts can spin around and it can make it kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But when you start to have space from them, you're like, oh, wait a minute, this doesn't have as much power over me.
Yeah, and that's 100% true. Like I've been doing this work for over a year or two? I don't know, over a year. And I remember, and I had talked about it on a previous podcast, my very first major, what is that called?
Like breakthrough or release? Distortion pattern release?
Where things get worse before they get better.
Oh, detox.
Detox, thank you. My first big detox moment. And it really had to do with the thoughts in my mind and the feelings. Yeah. So I'm thinking back personally to that moment and now, and it's like, oh, wow, I haven't been at that level at all.